Thanks for staying with us and welcome back to the last part in this program. As you all know, December 1st was World AIDS Day. Each year, the world comes together to bring a new energy, a new focus, a new attention to the global AIDS epidemic. But also, it pauses and remembers those who have died. More than 20 years have passed since this day was first designated, yet stigma and discrimination against HIV-positive people remains the biggest obstacle in the global fight against the disease. Today, we focus on women and children and what each of us can do to bring down the barrier. We wear this ribbon because we remember and also because we care.
A day like this isn't normal for He Tiantian. She's been living with HIV for more than 4 years. She's preparing for a book launch organized by her and her colleagues from the Women's Network Against AIDS. The book, Writing Life, contains 26 real-life stories of women living with HIV, including He Tiantian. She's the chief editor.
I personally like writing very much. After I was infected with HIV, I began to write my story in my blog. As many people read it and showed interest in my story, it was put on the Red Ribbon website. Editors from the website later suggested printing out the story and giving it to other people infected. I thought it was a good idea. In the end, we collected the stories of 25 other women with HIV.
He caught the virus from her husband. Everything changed since then. From an ordinary teacher to head of the Women's Network Against AIDS, she has come a long way.
Like many other people infected, I became desperate when I first knew I caught a virus. At that time, some people came to help me. With their help, I gradually regained the courage to live and face up to the fact. So when I have the courage to speak to the media about the women affected by HIV/AIDS, I want to make her voices heard to the society and help other females fight against AIDS.
According to data released by UNAIDS last week, an estimated 33.4 million people worldwide are infected with the virus. The good news is that new HIV infections have been reduced by 17% over the past 8 years. By the end of October, China had registered nearly 320,000 people with HIV/AIDS and reported nearly 50,000 deaths. About a third of those infected are women. They are a particularly vulnerable group, as many are more hesitant than men to reveal their status.
China has an estimated figure of 740,000 people living with HIV, but we rarely see them in real life, as most of them hide themselves for fear of discrimination. If they were found to be HIV positive, they might be fired or driven away by the landlords. For the public, the risk of being infected would be high, as they don't know who has been infected. I feel that people like me with HIV should speak out for themselves to make changes happen.
Over the past years, the number of children with HIV is also increasing in China. 10-year-old Ming Ming was orphaned by AIDS. He was adopted by a local charity organization.
On
World AIDS Day, Ming Ming received many gifts. He knows he has HIV, but he's too young to understand what it really means. But the nurse who takes care of him does. For many other children with HIV, love and care can change their life.
I often spend time with children living with HIV. There was one child in particular. When he was small, we filmed a campaign together. When I first met him, he wouldn't look me in the eye because he had suffered so much from threats and anxiety. After his parents died of AIDS, his relatives put him in a pigsty to live with pigs. Since we filmed the campaign, I've seen this child several times a year. He's growing up very quickly and began to feel loved after meeting us.
Last week, UNAIDS, in collaboration with the Chinese Ministry of Health, launched a campaign to address stigma and discrimination. The campaign responds to findings from recent surveys, which reveal how serious the problem is. On the national level, Chinese leaders pledged to mobilize the whole society to improve HIV/AIDS control and remove the social stigma. Beijing now has more than 50,000 volunteers engaged in AIDS prevention and control work. According to the Ministry of Health, China is preparing to lift its two-decade-old ban on foreigners with HIV/AIDS entering the country. China is among nearly 70 countries worldwide that deny entry to people with the virus. UN officials have praised the lifting of the ban and China's engagement in the fight against HIV/AIDS.
This country is a country of energy, country of pragmatism. They have been able to make a progress on many fronts. People are talking about economic transformation, but what is amazing is the social transformation which is going on. China is jumping in 21st century with social reforms, health reforms, education reforms, which will certainly surprise the world.
On December 1st, illuminations at symbolic landmarks across the globe were turned off. UNAIDS organized a campaign to remember those who live with or have lost the struggle with AIDS. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon urged the world to keep up the fight.
Let us keep fighting discrimination and changing the mindset that perpetuates it. And let us shine the powerful light of human rights on this challenge. From darkness to light, that is our struggle. We have lost too many loved ones. I am more determined than ever to fight the AIDS epidemic.
The fight against AIDS is on to save the lives of a generation. While treatment and prevention are vital to helping people with HIV, compassion and care are also key to containing the epidemic.
Well, let's look at the big picture, because over the years, the global mobilization on HIV and AIDS has seen remarkable results. Social awareness of this epidemic has grown significantly, but the world today still faces severe AIDS-related problems. Much more must be done to save millions of lives for this and for future generations. With that, we come to the end of this program. If you've got any suggestions, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email to worldinsight@cctv.com. But if not, we'll see you at the same time next week for your new edition of World Insight. I'm James Chow in Beijing. It's been great having you with us. I hope we made it worth your time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.